Princess Charlotte was saved from an unfair law affecting her and other female royals' futures when the late Queen agreed an outdated tradition needed to be changed. The late Queen will be remembered as one of the leading figures of the 20th century who was greatly admired for her dedication to duty. But to her great-grandchildren, she will always be their beloved Gangan, who cherished spending time with her family. In her latter years, her youngest relatives, including the Prince and Princess of Wales's children, are said to have brought her much joy. One part of her legacy that she left behind was carrying out a touching gesture that directly affected her great-granddaughter, Princess Charlotte, and saved her from an unfair shift in royal status that had impacted the late Queen's daughter, Princess Anne. The gesture actually came before the birth of Prince George over 10 years ago, as at the time, males always took precedence in the line of succession. When Anne was born as the Queen's second child, she was just behind older brother King Charles in the pecking order. But the law at the time meant Anne was moved down the line of succession when her brothers Prince Andrew and Prince Edward were born because sons took precedence over daughters. However, in 2013, the Queen issued the Succession of the Crown Act, which updated royal laws and meant that children would have equal rights to the throne regardless of their gender. As a boy, George's place as then third and now second in line to the throne did not change, but the Queen's rule meant that Charlotte kept her place and was not bumped down when Prince Louis arrived in 2018. Constitutional expert Ian McMartin explained, "The 2013 Act sought to bring multiple pieces of outdated and discriminatory legislation relating to the monarchy up to date. Through this act, male primogeniture was abolished, allowing the firstborn child, irrespective of gender, to become heir apparent. The disqualification from inheriting the throne by marrying a Catholic was removed, and the Royal Marriages Act of 1772 was repealed, resulting in only the first 6 in line to the throne being required to obtain the sovereign's permission." Meanwhile, it is not the only link that 8-year-old Charlotte has to her great-grandmother, the late Queen. One of her middle names is Elizabeth, a sweet nod to the former monarch, with the young princess's full name being Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. Similarly, when Prince Harry and Meghan welcomed their daughter in 2021, she was named Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, with Lilibet being a pet name that the late Queen was given. Incredibly, 9 of the late monarch's descendants are named in her honor. Other members of the family to be named after the former monarch include Princess Beatrice, Beatrice Elizabeth Mary, Zara Tyndall, Zara Anne Elizabeth Isla Phillips, Isla Elizabeth, and Lady Louise Windsor, Louise Alice Elizabeth Mary.